About 3.5 years ago, the gentleman behind me, Rob Lockery, before he ascended to the lofty position of our county commissioner, was the chairman of the committee, the Mercer Museum Committee, the Bucks County Historical Society, and he asked me if I would be the honorary chairman for this fundraising campaign. And I thought once I left Congress I was finished begging my friends for money, but apparently I wasn't. And the reason I agreed to do that is not only because I love this place, and I think all of you do, and that's why you're here, but because something that I think we all understood, and that is, as wonderful as this museum has been and is, and as the castle has been, when you've been here and you've spent a lot of time going to all the floors and looking at the exhibits, there's a little bit of a been there, done that feel. And when you come back, you can always find something new that you might not have noticed. But when you think about what brings us back over and over again to museums, like for instance the Philadelphia Museum of Art, it's because there's a new Picasso exhibit, there's a new Matisse exhibit, and so you're excited to go down and have an entirely different experience. And that's what we couldn't do at the Mercer, because we had just limited space and everything was sort of fixed and set. And I don't know how many of you know it, but not very far down the road in 611 from here, there is a huge warehouse filled with the rest of the Mercer collection. Things that no one ever gets to see, except a few of us who got a sneak preview as a way of convincing us we should raise money for this thing. But there's not only so much more of the collection to be seen, but there are collections all over the country, and for that matter the world, at the Smithsonian and other museums around the country that are willing to share and exchange exhibits with the Mercers. So that'll give us a reason to come back and to bring our friends and family, and that's why we did this. And the other reason I did it is not just because the artifacts are so cool, and they are, not because they're so interesting and they tell stories about the individuals who made them or who used them, but because they tell us something very vital about our country and about our country's history and about what built this country. They tell us about the pioneering spirit. They tell us about the ingenuity. They tell us about the work ethic. They tell us about the desire to blend utility and beauty. And they tell us about the melting pot that is our country, the craftsmanship that was brought from Europe and from Asia and from around the world. And it's that understanding of the foundation of this country that our children need to understand. Because only when they understand what built this country, and they can see it right there, literally built this country, can they understand, I think, what this country has to offer, what makes it unique, what their particular special responsibilities and opportunities are as Americans. So thank you for being here enough, for caring enough about this place to be here this morning. Thanks for your support. And I also wanted to thank not only Rob Lockery for getting me involved in this thing, but I want to thank one of our next speakers, and that's Lieutenant Governor Cawley. When he was a county commissioner, one of my duties was to call him and say, hey, can the county help this project? And he promised right away that he would. And then I just called him every 2 weeks for about 2 years. And he delivered. And he's here to deliver again today. So, Governor, we appreciate your presence. Thank you all.